couple of your comments to get to. A listener says there are few enough services as it is. St Mary's of the Angels should be kept open. Another listener says, Radio Kerry, listening to a show a few months ago, there was issues with rosters and staffing at St Mary's of the Angels. Now it comes to light that residents are to be moved out. Another caller says, most of these people have lived in St Mary's their entire lives. It's home to them. Some are blind, deaf, they have autism and many other intellectual and physical disabilities. However, very few have the capacity to comprehend and move to a different home, community-based or otherwise. I think it is very unfair to uproot somebody from their life as they know it. The supports they have on campus will never be met in the community. Anne Hannon on St Mary's of the Angels. Anne's brother has been a resident there since 1974. He's lived his whole life there in a house on the grounds. He's his own room but shares with 3 others. He is severely autistic and is non-verbal. Anne says he couldn't live in the town. Within Beaufort he can walk down to the pool and the therapies he needs. He is safe and comfortable in the environment within the grounds of Beaufort. Another listener says St Mary's of the Angels. Caller says his brother is a resident there since their father passed away in 2003. Beaufort is top class and the people working there are excellent. He is fully supportive of what Jack is saying this morning. The brother has mental age of 2 and the caller says he and his family will not give any permission for their brother to be moved out of there. An 85-year-old woman from Killarney also got in touch this morning. She says she will go out in March at the decision to close St Mary's of the Angels. She said she's had contact with them since 1972 and has a special needs child herself. She said this decision is ridiculous and disgusting. St Mary's of the Angels, that report I was talking to you about, that was done up, Kerry Services Development Committee report. There were 2 sections in it dealing with the media and dealing with public representatives, recommendations of what would be done and how it would be communicated to the media. And like I said, the first we heard in the media of these changes or these proposals was when the parents group contacted us very upset. So something somewhere in the communication side of it has gone very wrong. We await responses from St John of God and also from the HSE on that. On the issue of what seems like the effective closure of St Mary's of the Angels in Beaufort, another lady said her brother has been in St Mary's of the Angels since he was 5 and is now 55. Nothing would compare to the care they get in the facility. The staff are unbelievable and she would just like to commend them for the work they do. With the reduction of staff, there are fewer services and it's an absolute disgrace. Another listener says, my sister died last New Year's Eve after living her life in St Mary's of the Angels. When she was taken into hospital, the staff at the hospital did their best, but it was the staff for unit in Maria Goretti's that went to the hospital and did the shift so she would be more comfortable up to her death. This news has come out and is very distressing. Kerry as a community need to come together and do our very best to stop this from happening. Andrew Winton, originally from Scotland, now living in Carsavine. His younger sister was in a facility like Beaufort and it closed down when she was in her early 20s. She has cerebral palsy and was put into a community environment. She was put into an apartment where she receives 24-hour care. He has seen both sides and believes the best support was in residential care as she was socialising and integrating, whereas now she's in complete isolation. His parents are continuously fighting for her care as they want to reduce it by 3 hours and put CCTV in during the time she's alone. The fear is she will be unable to go to the bathroom, etc. during this time. And that's Andrew's view. Another listener says, morning Jerry, I had the privilege to work in St Mary's of the Angels while I was studying for social care. I will never forget the care, love and dignity the residents got. It just reminds me of Edenburn Hospital, where again the patients got the old-fashioned care and you could eat off the floor and the patients were so happy. It would be a disgrace if they closed St Mary's. What will they do with St Mary's of the Angels? Will they sell it off like Edenburn? Another mother who has special needs children was in touch. She was very upset about St Mary's of the Angels. She says it was a pillar of the community and that for her as a parent it was a great comfort knowing it was there. She said she isn't going to be around forever and she felt secure that her children had options like that in the future. She says along with St Francis Special Needs School where her son goes, it's amazing. And one final comment for now. A listener says, Jerry, you're being sold a pup regarding the HICWA inspections in St John of God's. We're the only congregated community not to be given an immediate closure order. The structural work outlined was mainly to do with fire safety. The work has been done, already paid for. HICWA commended the staff. Congregated setting is not ideal. By rights, everyone should live as part of the community. This is our residents' community. It's their home. Leave the residents live their lives out in the place they consider to be their home. That's just some of the comments coming into us on that issue. A listener gets in touch, or an email comes in here from Kevin and Margaret O'Connor. They are parents of their daughter, Hazel O'Connor, who is 34 years of age and has lived in St Mary's of the Angels for 26 years. They say Hazel suffers from cerebral palsy and spastic quadriplegia and severe learning disabilities. She also suffers from curvature of the spine, dislocated hip, deformed wrists and feet. Hazel is non-verbal, unable to chew her food and has to have liquids thickened in order for her to be able to drink. Hazel is totally dependent on her carers for everything. For example, feeding, dressing, changing of nappies, hygiene, and is able to sit, stand or walk. Therefore is totally dependent on her wheelchair for indoor and outdoor mobility. Hazel will require additional supports as she gets older. St Mary of the Angels is her home away from home. We've been collecting Hazel every weekend for years now. As parents, we're able to sleep at night, safe in the knowledge that Hazel is safe and well taken care of. We have peace of mind as the staff are excellent, passionate about their work and collectively form a safe and caring environment. Hazel has access to physiotherapist, occupational therapist, the heated pool, dentist, doctor visits, all residents when required. Relaxation room in Oaktree Lodge, arts and crafts as well are available. We fear for her daughter's future if she's evicted from her home and community that she's known for over a quarter of a century. Why can't the money that's being made available for decongregation be invested in St Mary's of the Angels? Services have suffered cutbacks year in and year out for many years now, and I believe now are at a critical point. St Mary's of the Angels located in beautiful grounds and campus with the mountains as a backdrop and lovely lawns and flowers which make for beautiful walks for the residents, safe and peaceful surroundings. Hazel has flourished in these surroundings. Jury, in short, we have peace of mind and we can sleep at night knowing Hazel is being well looked after. We're both in our 60s and will have our own health issues to contend with as time goes by. We're being asked to trust this decongregation, i.e. move out of St Mary's into the community. We're being asked to trust the services at a time that has witnessed cutbacks to all services to the disabled, speech therapy, physiotherapy, pool therapy, carers and home helps, etc. We want St Mary's of the Angels to remain open and to receive investment to meet future demands. That St Mary's of the Angels is home to the residents and is also their community and campus. That comes in from Kevin and Margaret O'Connor with regards to it. Keep your comments coming into us. And a listener wants us to let people know there's a Keep St Mary's of the Angels Beaufort Facebook page, which is over 1,500 likes in a few hours. So the parents, as you can tell, are gearing up in a big way for their campaign. If you have a view for us on that, and we again will be waiting to hear from St John of God's further to their statement and also from the HSE's take on this as well, and we'll bring that to you as and when we get it. Keep your views and comments coming into us. Eilish Perryman gets in touch. He's a son in St Mary's of the Angels. Before he moved to Beaufort, he lived in a community setting in Tralee. His behaviour can be challenging and there were problems because of this behaviour. He sometimes had to go to University Hospital Kerry. Since moving to St Mary's of the Angels, his behaviour is less challenging. He's much happier living in the environment of St Mary's of the Angels. A study which Trinity College in Dublin was involved in showed that while community living can be of benefit to people with mild learning difficulties, it's much less benefit to people with profound disabilities. Community living is not a one-size-fits-all solution.